you doing?
Real good.
It's your boy Sin from the Hill. We back with another episode of the Rundown. It's a special episode. I got one of the ones with me. Who am I here with?
Julie Lamb.
Yeah. So, Julie, tell me about yourself. Tell me who you are and what you do in your own words.
I'm a jewelry designer here in New York City, making almost everything here in these couple of blocks that we're sitting in the Diamond District. Born and bred New Yorker, and that comes through my work.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. In terms of where we are, what is the significance?
Oh, there's physical space. This is my little showroom, my little space. So I am with a jeweler and a very good friend of mine who I respect, who I've known for many, many years. Actually, you should feature this guy, Americo Izzo, and he might stop and say hi anyway. We've been friends for a really long time. He's a master jeweler, and what I mean by that is he learned apprenticing from his father and does everything by hand. Okay, so I'm more on the design side. I'm getting concept, I'm drawing, I'm going through CAD and 3D modeling. This guy, he's pulling every wire by himself. So yeah, we connect on some of my higher end projects. He's amazing. But anyway, so it's nice to have like this kind of roommate, right? So and this happened during the pandemic when everything was like a shake up, because I wanted like a little space here, but you know, everything seemed like you couldn't figure it out or afford it or a thing. And then, you know, when the shake up happened, he invited me to take this little piece over, and it's been like so great for the business to have like my clients can come in and pick up. We could do a trunk show here. We could do this, you know. Right. It's nice to have your own thing.
Right. And in terms of the neighborhood, in terms of like your relevance to that.
So we're in the Diamond District. I'm on West 48th Street. 47th Street is the main drag. I've been doing errands for people and designers since I'm like 19. So yeah, it is crazy. When I think about it, I'm like, whoa, I've been here my whole life, you know? So when I came back from school from Syracuse, I'm a metalsmithing major, and I wanted to work in the summer between semesters and get some, you know, hands-on real experience here. And that's when I, you know, working for another designer, running to get her castings, pick up her chain and her wire. So there's people here who've been selling me jump rings and lobster clasps since, you know, a very long time ago. So that I have my own thing now is like not a surprise to anyone, but you know, it's something like you think about for so many years before you like take the jump. So
I want you to explain a couple of these because these concepts are great.
Yeah, so I will start with city because it's like an influence. Actually, you want to grab that postcard? Yeah, so city is about New York City and right where we are, like I was talking about. So one of the original designs was the manhole cover, and then the back it says made in New York by New Yorkers, because I was really like I worked for all these big companies and we'd send things overseas, and I'd go to China twice a year for many years, and I just love the idea of like, oh my god, this is locally made, you know, I just think it's so cool. So manhole covers, and then all the tokens, and I have different styles of these. So before there was a Metro card, there were funny little coins, and like my dad was working in the garment district, and he'd have to carry tokens, and like, you know, my first experiences were on the train or like going to the garment district with him. So, you know, this is it's industrial details from the city, and we're stepping on these things in the street, and we're using them to get where we're going, and it's not. I wanted to be able to elevate it by using, you know, precious materials and diamonds and stones, and make it into, you know, make that hardware into like fine jewelry. So I love it. I love this line, and it's just like it's a love letter to the city, you know.
And it gets even deeper.
Yes, that one got deep. So that's my foray into a bridal line. I'm calling it Built for Love, and this line, so it is engagement and wedding. I designed each engagement ring off of a landmark building, right? So you've got Brooklyn Bridge, Bow Bridge is a beautiful bridge in Central Park. People are always getting engaged on. Cathedral is after St. Pat's, Rock Center, obviously across the street from where we are, Empire State Building. So, you know, I did all these. There's something about the permanence of landmarks and the commitment you're making, like when you go into a marriage. So those were the things that I was fooling around with, other than the architecture, because you know I like my words. Right. So when I'm sitting there, I'm designing and putting the storyline together kind of at the same time. It's equally important to me, the drawing and the words that I'm going to use. So bridal for us in the jewelry industry is the bread and butter. It's very saturated. You can do a ring a million different ways that everyone has. I didn't want to touch it until I could make it my own. So that was my way to bring it back to my overall branding, was to New Yorkify it. Right. If that's a word. It is now. Yeah. So there's kind of influences like that.
Right, real New York shit. Let's get into the fit.
All right.
Going right now.
All right, let's get it. All right,
Let's go.
We'll get the big corporate out of the way. So this is Nike, obviously, but you know, I thought it was cool how they blacked out their own logo.
That is very cool.
Isn't it strange?
Yeah.
And I did like the pop of pink in there, so that made me. And it kind of looks like a lab coat. So I'm like,
let's see the inside one more time.
oh yeah, the pink is cool, right?
It's very cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a lab coat, but I did like how they did that. Cause I'm like, I'm not so labely, but I thought that was cool. It's like from the outlet, right? So we're moving to Nike. Then I've got these sorrel sneakers on. I got a little wedge to them, so that's like I'm wearing an outdoor brand, even though I really like cement and I'm not trying to go on a hike. I prefer cement to any of those outdoor things. The most outdoor thing about me is I'm an earth sign, but that's it. And then I do tend to do a lot of military. This is by Joe's Jeans, which is like pretty much the only jeans I wear. Once you find a jean that fits you, you're not trying to be in that dressing room with it. Right? So I'm like, I know my size, I'm good, so I love this one. I do have a lot of like utilitarian and military style uniform type of things. I love uniform everything. This again is military. This is bandolier. I should be selling these. It's great for people in the Diamond District when you're putting your little stuff in there. You get like a hiding pack back there. I don't have to look for my phone. That makes me crazy. I'm not doing it. I wear this. What else do I have? That's all the pieces except for the jewels. So I probably have lots of collections on. One of a kind, that could be anything I want. That's why I have a really good time. This is from Elements, Teardrop Glamour Cuff. I wear this with everything. This is this is from my BU collection. You see that lamb? That's my logo, that's my last name. He's very fancy here with a giant emerald, which is my birthstone. More lammy. That goes into Metropolis with like the superpowers, which I've got a little bit more of. There's one little Metropolis on. I knew I need superpower today. We're doing an interview. Right. I need that extra. This, my friends make fun of me. It's called the necklace that doesn't come off, because I make it for people. It's a body part, so I guess it comes off. There is a class, but live, eat, sleep, breathe. This is on my body. I got one token here. That's the Love is Love. We are in June. I've got the rainbow sapphire on that one. It says Love is Love in the back. It matches the. Did you see Rock Center today? It's all the pride flag and a floral. Right. It's so good. I need to go there and photograph. What else is on here? Oh, Grandma. It's nice to wear something from family member who's passed. Good old rope chain, probably from the 80s. This is a friend of mine, always Aleda. She hand makes these chains. So I was like, I cannot find, like, this is a trend and they sell them all day long, but I didn't find the exact right link. I had her make it for me. Can you make exactly this link? Yes, I can. So beautiful, you know. Oh, wait. Very important. Always a hoop earring. These are called the Go-To Girl. They're an oval. So it's a really simple looking design. It is hard to engineer those ovals, but I got kicked out of 2 shops with this idea. I had to make them tooling, and then I brought it back, make them something to knock the wire around so it comes out the same all the time. And I was like, I'll make it. So these are special to me because it was like a challenge. Right. There's some other little bits and stuff in here, but yeah, I definitely was piercing my ears since I started my brand, because I wanted to wear more of my stuff at the same time. I think I got most of it.
Great. Last question.
Yes.
When it comes to who or what has been influencing you or inspiring you lately, whatever comes to mind.
Whatever comes to mind. So we touched on it a little bit, so definitely like New York City, like you're just walking around. This place has always been like a freedom to me. Like, I grew up in Canarsie. I wasn't really vibing with that neighborhood so much. It was different than it is now, and I was like, I can draw, and I ran away to art and design high school, and that opened my mind up and my friend base up, and my, you know, you're bouncing around all the boroughs now. You're just like so much bigger here. So this place and me walking around in it and the details I'm picking up is like definitely the muse. And then sometimes it's something somebody says to me and I take it out into a concept, and I guess I spend a lot of time in my own head, but other creatives that I play with, you know, like it could be jewelry designer friends will run a new line by me. I had a friend run a clothing line by me on the weekend. I had a friend run something about sustainability presentation by me, and I'm like, you know, honored that you want my opinion. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna rip up your project and feed it back to you, but you know, with love and with suggestions, and I believe you hanging, but I mean, that is like, you know, charges my batteries when we can go back and forth, and it could be with anybody. And we have to shout out to Helen with the gold teeth.
Shout out to Helen.
She's who put us together right here, right now, and she's someone I met around doing my thing, and we just, yeah, I picked her right out. We became friendly, and she's one of the great ones, as you know.
Awesome. I love your creativity, I'm not gonna lie. The way you think about like putting things together, and like I was saying earlier, like your journey being so linear. It's like, it's special, you know?
I like when you're trying to like write your biography for your website or something, and I'm like, this is such a boring story. Like, I was a little kid, I was making jewelry. I went to school for jewelry. I graduated to make jewelry. You know what I mean? So in my head, I'm like, so boring. I didn't have some backstory, but I mean, it's just like this singular thing in my life that I always like. It's a driving force for me. Yeah, and now that it's my own. There's stuff that I've done in this brand that I wasn't allowed to do when I worked for other brands or corporate and stuff, you know? When I'm always a girl who's like, Valentine's Day, we have to make hearts for Valentine's Day. Really? And I'd be like, can I make one black heart? And they'd always be like, no. And I was like, not everybody likes Valentine's Day. Like, someone just broke up, they got divorced, they don't have a boyfriend, and I always want to make a black heart. Now I got my black sheep instead. I don't do any hearts. Once in a while I throw in a heart, but it's more about, you know, things I always wanted to do, I can do now.
Thanks,
man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate your time.